Hey guys, this is David at Guitars in the Bank, and today we're going to talk about Japan's most influential classical guitar maker of all time, Masaru Kohno. Stick around. So today we're going to look at three Masaru Kohno classical guitars, and they're all from different eras. We're going to end with having a demo of all three so you can hear all the tonality differences of all three options. So let's first just talk about who Masaru Kohno is. He was from Japan, started making classical guitars in 1949, and he was very interested in Spanish classical guitar making. So from the year of 1949 to 1960, he was doing a lot of his own builds, his own designs, but then by the year 1960, he actually had studied under Fernandez in Spain. And this was, you noticed a really big difference in the way he built the classical guitars. He started going with larger scale lengths, and the sound, the tone was much larger and bigger. And then fast forward to 1967, and he put Japan on the map when he had won an award in Belgium in 1967. And at that point, he really became a much bigger name. His production started to increase quite a bit. All right, so we're first going to look at one of his earliest builds. This is a Masaru Kohno 1957. And so this was again before he started building or started learning from Fernandez in 1960. So what's characteristic of these guitars compared to some of the later models is they're usually a little bit lighter. This one's pretty lightweight. Usually the scale length was a little bit shorter, and it didn't have the boomy volume of some of his later models. So this would be a little bit more on the warm side, kind of a gentle tone that you'd get from it. Now, one thing interesting to note about this guitar is that he says on the inside here of the label, it says Constructor de Guitarras. And so you can already see that he had interest in learning the Spanish trade before he had even spent time with Fernandez in 1960. Something else to note on these classical guitars with the earlier ones is that Kohno was spelled K-O-N-O as opposed to some of his later models, which was K-O-H-N-O. And from what I gather, I've heard different opinions and seen different things, but what seems to make the most sense is that romanization was not standardized at that point, so that's just the label he went with at that time. But if you know more, feel free to add in the comments. And so this one overall, just kind of give you an idea, we'll kind of give you some shots of this guitar. I mean, it's got some wear, but it's actually in really great shape. The bridge is flat to the body, which is nice. It's just got some nice character that you can't get when you buy a brand new classical guitar. Just some finish checking and things like that. Okay, so the next one we're gonna look at, this is sort of a transitional period classical guitar for Kohno. So you're still gonna notice on this one, the label still has K-O-N-O, so it's still one of his earlier ones, but it's 1963. This was the model 412 1963, and so this was after he had studied with Fernandez. So you can even just tell, maybe it's hard to see in the video, but I can just tell holding this, the build just feels a little different. It definitely, and just again tonally, it has a lot more projection. This is where Kohno started to really develop at this point his sound and what really his vision was for future guitars. You could also say that there was more balance, more clarity compared to his earlier models pre-1960. So you see him kind of moving from experimentation to consistency. And so, yeah, again, just taking a quick peek at this guitar. This right here, you will see there's a crack on this one. We do have a local luthier who does all our work, especially on the Kohnos. We make sure he goes through all of them just to make sure they're tip top. So that crack has been professionally repaired. Everything on this is great. Again, the bridge is nice and flat. And it looks like we did have to change out the tuners, so we put some really nice high quality tuners on here just to match the quality of the instrument. So just holding these guitars, there's a difference between the two, but they're both really fantastic guitars. And so let's get on to the third one and our final one in the lineup today. Now this is a lot more quintessential Masaru Kohno. This is the Kohno with K-O-H-N-O. And this is from 1971. It's a Model 10. So this is many years after he had won the award in Belgium, and he was really on the map at this point. So I think he really had gotten into his stride once we got into this model. And so his work became a lot more standardized at this point, a lot more predictable. And his output, he started to make a lot more Kohnos. And so, but I think the thing that I think is really fascinating is that as the output continued to increase, the quality still stayed the same, if not a lot. It actually became even better because he had really perfected his craft at this point. So when people think of a Masaru Kohno tone, this is going to be a lot closer to what people would probably expect. This is kind of what he became known for. Another thing to note with this is that with the model numbers, he started to use the numbers to kind of classify a little bit more than maybe it being a little bit more random at the start. I know with this one, the Model 10, this is definitely like a good respected high mid-grade, higher end classical guitar that he had made. And so this is one that definitely would be on the top of the list of someone that's looking for a serious classical player. So after looking at all three guitars, what's the significance here? What I would say, just the fact that Kohno had at such an early time had the vision to be able to start producing such high quality classical guitars in Japan, and then later spent time with Fernandez in 1960. It just started to up the bar of what people expected for Japanese classical guitars. And so had it not been for people like Masaru Kohno, then we may have not had some of these beautiful instruments we have today. And I know for a lot of people what is really, I think, a big benefit of having these available is that they're incredible instruments that otherwise if you were looking to buy like a Spanish-made Fernandez, you'd be paying multiple times over what you pay for a Masaru Kohno. So I think it just gives more people the option to have something that's actually affordable to put in their hands, yet still have that same beautiful sound quality you'd get from Spanish classical guitars. So now that we've had a chance to kind of look over these guitars, I want to end by just playing the same song on all three of these guitars so you can kind of get an idea as the audience member for what the tone of each one of these is and become better acquainted with them. So we're first going to start by demoing the 1957 Kohno guitar. And so this is one of his earlier models, and so again this is classified by a nice warm gentle tone, really just a nice character to it, but it's a little less boomy than his later models. All right, and so the next guitar we're going to look at is the 1963 Model 4-12. So this is his transitional period. So let's see how this one stacks up. All right, so the last one that we talked about, it is the Masaru Kohno number 10, and this is from 1971. So this is going to be quintessential, nice, big and boomy Masaru Kohno classical, which means I got to do this real fast. Okay, I got that in my system. if you've stuck around this long to the end of the video, we appreciate that you've taken the time to sit with us and learn about Masaru Kohno classical guitars. And if you're interested in learning more, we'll provide a link below. Our guitar shop, Japanese Guitar Company, we sell a lot of these, and so we always have a lot in stock. It's a rotating stock all the time. So click the link below and you'll be able to just kind of see what we have available. And if you have questions, feel free to message us here or on our Reverb site. So if you're into vintage Japanese guitars and practical guitar work and advice, then stick around. Definitely like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.